here. It's your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
What up, man? DJ Smooth.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
And welcome back to We Outside Radio. Shout out to all my outsiders in the building. We are back with another good show, and we got our special guest, Scotty ATL, is in the building.
Hey,
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What's good, brother?
All right, man. I'm chilling, man. You know, trying to get it.
Nah, you ain't trying to get it. You getting it.
Man, you know, I'm doing that like everybody else. You feel me?
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
he iced up in the mouth over there. You see him, don't you?
You know.
Self-made, too. So we're going to start with that. Grills by Scotty. You know, you have this amazing company that I believe you started in the pandemic, right?
Nah,
Well,
actually,
they're saying you did, but I remember before this.
Yeah.
So when did you start? And I'm going to tell you the first time I saw you.
Okay, well, I started doing grills in 2014.
Okay.
I actually started out with a homeboy of mine, you know what I mean? And I was working on another company at first. And then so I went with him, and then I started doing something with another guy, and me and the guy kind of split, whatever. And at the time, I was doing Grills by Scotty then. That was probably like 2000, maybe like 18,
Okay.
something like that. And so at first, it was just my Instagram page. I was going on the road doing grills on tour, and it just kind of took off from there. You know what I'm saying? I started doing celebrities grills, and I ended up having to get my own shop because I had so much business.
That's a good problem.
Yeah.
So I remember, I want to say maybe like 2012, 2013. I was in L.A. It's way before you had the store.
Yep.
And I went to some party. I think it was like I don't know, it was a record label party or something. And as soon as I walk in, I don't know if it was a BT after party or
Lemon
something.
pepper wet.
Yes, bro.
Yeah,
And I
for
walked
sure.
in, I looked to the left, and I seen
Yeah.
Scotty had a table like this, bro,
Yeah.
promoting the grills and everything. And I'm like, yo, damn, that was so dope to me, because I was like, yo, if I'm seeing him all the way out here doing this, just out here, away from Atlanta, just first of all, I love when I'm out of town and I run into somebody from around the way.
Right.
I love that anyway, because it's like,
Right.
oh, he working, we working. But to see you doing that, you wasn't on no music stuff at all. To
Yeah.
see you doing that, I was like, he about to make it doing this grill, because I know you was serious about it. So I thought that was fire, bro. And
No
then
doubt.
just to advance to now you having 2 locations, one being in Cali. Another moment that I was proud of you. I think this was maybe 2 months ago. We were on tour and we were in L.A. riding by, going to a party. I just looked to the right, Grills by Scotty, the storefront. I'm like, yo,
crazy.
this is so fire to me, bro. So congratulations, man.
I appreciate it, for
Congratulations. That's a
real.
big deal, bro.
Good stuff.
Thank
Good
you,
stuff.
man.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man.
Because it's one thing to have one at home,
Yeah.
which is still a blessing. But to have one out there too, oh yeah, he broke the mold, pun intended.
man.
You know what I'm saying? That was dope.
Appreciate
That's
it.
dope.
So let me ask you this, Scotty. You know, we've been knowing you for a while, so we've been backing your career. Like, you know, every record you put out, we always support you. How was it to go from being a rapper or an artist into being an entrepreneur, especially like coming from, like you said, you was on the road and then you kind of started your business.
Right.
So how did that transition kind of happen? Because now I see you're more in a entrepreneur mode than you are a rapper mode.
I think just seeing the way the game just going in general, when I look at people like Rick Ross or 2 Chainz, you know, Tip, you know, even Big Boy, you know, guys start getting businesses, you know. And so I started watching that record sales wasn't really like what was feeding people, you know, putting food on the table. If you had a product in your hand, some people could like get or buy, you can make money right away, you know, versus having to wait on a check, you know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, that and just, you know, really just having my back against the wall, you know what I'm saying? Being a new father, you know, like having to put food on the table, you know
Gotta
what I'm
change
saying?
it.
Like, yeah, you got to figure it out, you know? And so I remember at one time I was thinking like, you know, we go to the studio every day and think that that's going to make money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where if you look at people that make money, they focus on making money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I had to kind of switch my thought process and the way I grind different, you know, because I was like, in my mind, I felt like, well, if I go to the studio every day, that means God going to bless me.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
your mindset anyway.
Because I'm working hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in the studio every day like, I got to get a record deal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, when you look at artists that popping off, like, they doing more than being in the studio.
Right.
You know what I mean? They putting plays together. They working on shows, tours, listening parties, you know what I mean, campaigns, all kind of stuff, you know. So I just started changing my focus to, instead of going to the studio and being creative every day, I'm gonna make money every day. Even if it's $25, like that was my mindset at first.
Man, that's crazy. Cause like when I look at it now, and I'm saying like, yo, I seen my man go from being like your whole purpose at one point was like, yo, I gotta be the top rapper out of Atlanta.
Right.
And then I seen like, especially when you got the store on Counter Road, like just transitioning to that, I seen like your business mind. Like I seen a whole new person emerge.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
So when you're doing that and you putting out independent records and you seeing like how much money you got to put into an independent record, what was the key thing that made you transition into like, okay, now I know I've been spending all this money into my music. Now I got to do something to put food on the table. And you said like you had a family as well.
I think that for me, putting out a lot of, like, I'm from Atlanta. I've been putting out music since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Being from the city and seeing so many artists blow up, we all in the same bubble.
Right.
You know, everybody fighting each other like for the same spot. And in actuality, when you break it down sometimes, it's like, what do you really want out of the game?
Right.
You know, like for yourself personally, not what everybody else out there. You know, what is it that it might, for some people it might be fame.
Right.
For some people it might be money. For some people it might be power. You know, but whatever it is, kind of focusing more on that instead of just following suit. You know, so that's been my thing, or the switch up. Like at first I felt like, okay, as an artist, this is what you supposed to do. This the way the game supposed to go. This is what everybody doing. You get a record deal, you get a hot song, the song go in the club, you go platinum, you blow up.
Right.
That's the formula.
Right.
You know? But what if you could do something different? You know what I'm saying? What if you could start your own business and that blew up?
Right.
And then you could put the soundtrack to the, you know what I'm saying, your music to the business. Like,
So another question I had is, being that you come from, and I've seen you since like I want to say 2000, before 2010.
Right,
I'm
right,
gonna just
right.
leave it there. What do you see that's different about the game now than you seen when you came in?
well, okay, so I'm gonna give you two levels to this, right?
Okay.
So when I first wanted to get in the game, you just had to be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I saw artists like Outkast and Tilt, you know what I'm saying? Like you in that era, like you just had to be good.
Yeah.
You can get a record deal.
Off talent.
And
Right.
yeah,
It
and
was off
you can
your
get
talent.
like a big record deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Raw talent.
that what made me want to get in the game. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Cause I always feel like, man, I was good. Like this easy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it still takes time, whatever you do. Game kind of switched up to like, now it's like, it ain't just about being good. It's about your following. You
Right.
know, how many fans you got, how many people you could put in the room, how many people you could get to do something.
Right.
That's what it's based on now.
Correct.
You know, so I mean, to be honest, I'm one of the people like, well, I don't really complain about the game. I'm with whatever the game with.
Right.
However it go, you know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta figure it out, cause you don't got no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Because you was one of the first guys I seen like actually do, like as far as independent, you was one of the first guys I seen that really put merchandising like in the forefront. Because like I seen when you went out one time on tour, you really didn't go out with nothing. So I'm assuming that was the learning curve.
Yeah.
But then the next time you went out, that's when I seen you was going out with the whole cool club. You had the shirts, the merchandise. So tell me, like from an independent standpoint and from being an entrepreneur now, how important is the merchandising?
It's everything. When so some of the guys I look up to, Tech Nine, Currency, Nipsey Hussle, you know, they all got really big brands that people rock with outside of just the music.
Right.
You know? And so to be honest, it's just like the name of the game now is you build your own world, right? So like, again, I think this is where a lot of people trip up at. You trying to win the whole world. You wanna make a hit record and win the whole world with one song when you got 25 people that support you,
Right.
right? So why not just keep feeding it 25? Maybe that turn to a 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a slow roll, but maybe you make a hit record while you feeding these people.
Yeah, you gotta. It's like cooking dope. Once you get that good pack, then everybody gonna want it. Everybody gonna
You know
come
what I'm
in.
saying?
You
So
see what I'm
so
saying?
that was my thought process with, you know what, man? I got some people that really support me. Why don't I just cater to these people and do something that they like and they could represent and wear? And people did it. I mean, people got tattoos on their back, on their arm, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a thing, change, like, you know what I mean?
And when people start rocking with you like that, it motivates you to keep going too. You know what I'm saying? So
So you were speaking about not just merch, but going back to the music, having a soundtrack to your business, right? Because at your heart, you're still an artist.
Yeah.
So now you had a successful business, and then you get to do this song with Pimp C and Paul Wall
Oh, man.
about the grills.
Facts.
That's crazy to be a full circle moment, bro. Again, this is me on the outside looking in because I seen the whole thing. So it's another moment where I'm like, oh, no, Scotty, feel good about this. Like, because, I mean, what are the odds of that? That's fire. So how did that come about? How were you able to put that record together?
Well, Corey Moe is,
We love Corey, bro.
Yeah, Corey Moe like a big brother to me.
church.
Yeah. That's him.
That's
So I've been rocking with Corey Moe for a minute. You know, and I've been a fan of UGK since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So me and Corey Moe was surreal. And then me and Shannara linked up through Corey Moe. And so me and Shannara like been cool for a minute. I never really approached her about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a matter of fact, there was like one time we had a conversation, you know what I mean, just about Pimp C. And we had several conversations in general, but most of our stuff be about life, family, what's going on. And so me and Corey Moe were talking one day. I was like, bro, I really want to make a song for the grills. But I been had the idea. I just didn't want to do nothing that was corny.
Yep.
You know, because people, people just automatically say, man, you do grill, man, you should make a song for the grills, you know? So I was like, man, Corey Moe makes some hard ass tracks, like, you know, that I know he can connect with this, cause this song, I know it'll connect with Houston too. You know what I mean? And so he hit me up and was like, man, I think I got some you know what I'm saying, you need to hear some exclusive shit, you know what I'm saying, from Pimp C. I thought he was joking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't play with me like that, right?
Yeah,
Got it in the vault.
And so he let me hear it, you know what I mean? I talked to Shannara, you know what I'm saying, like, and just like made sure everything was cool, it was straight, you know what I mean? I did my verse, and to be honest, like, me and Corey Moe talked, and I was like, bro, I ain't gonna even lie, this shit hard, but I want to see if you can do another track, you know what I'm saying, to it. And he was like, you know, at first, you know, as a producer, you know what I'm saying, nigga ask you to do another track, it kind of disrespectful a little bit, especially if you're a legend, you know what I'm saying? But man, I appreciate him, man. He ain't true. He went in and did another track, and the shit was banging more hard. It was banging even harder.
Of course, right?
You know what I'm saying? And so we sent it to Paul Wall, and he was with it. He did that shit quick, sent it back. It was like crazy.
That's big, man. That's major.
Yeah.
That's major. So let's take a break. Let's get into the record. Introduce the record to the people.
Oh, man. Okay, Show Your Grill, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Scotty ATL, featuring Pimp C and Paul Wall, produced by Corey Moe. Let's get it. Church.
Let's do it. We Outside Radio. We'll be right back.
Tabernacle.
We back. We Outside Radio. Your boy DJ Filthy Rich.
Hendon, man, smooth in the building was good.
Yeah, it's your boy DJ Big X.
And we back in the building with the one and only Scotty ATL.
Yeah.
And we talking big business, man. We talking business in music and business outside of music. And one thing that we always like to do is tell people to diversify their portfolio. That means don't just have one stream of income coming in. So again, you know, big business, what you got going on. We proud of you. But I want to talk about something else. Another stream you got. Listen, bro, sports.
Okay.
Now, season starts with the Hawks. I'm scrolling through my gram, minding my business,
Facts.
and I see the dopest commercial ever with the NBA season getting announced, and the different teams got different grills, and I'm like, this is hard. This is Scotty,
Wow.
bro.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about that now. I want to get that from the beginning too. How did you hook up with the NBA and the Hawks, and how did you make that happen? And what was that process like? Because it came out amazing.
Man, appreciate it. So a few of the people that work for the Hawks came and got a grill. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Melissa. She was one of them.
Dope.
I ended up really just making the grill. It was nothing more than that at first.
Yeah.
And I did a
What does
show.
Melissa do? Like, what department is she in?
She like pretty much is the
Marketing.
hooper and the shaker. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Shout out to Melissa.
Saying.
Yeah.
So
He put the piece on it.
So like later on after that, like I just made the grill at first. That was it really. Later I performed at a rugby game, the Atlanta rugby game, right?
Oh, don't skip past that.
So
You performed at a rugby game?
I performed at halftime for the Atlanta rugby game.
Wow.
Cool.
At the Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
No, they have a different stadium. It's
Oh,
a new professional team. It's a rugby team.
Okay.
So we have our own rugby team?
We got our own rugby.
I didn't even know we did rugby in Atlanta.
Okay, wait. I don't want to skip no steps.
So he's privileged.
So you're at the rugby game. I don't want to skip past that.
Okay.
What do we're DJs, so
Right.
What songs do you perform at the rugby game? You
So,
remember?
Yeah, I did Cloud 9.
Had to, yeah.
I
good
did the
choice.
song with Big Boy and Sleepy. I did the song I got called LA Care. I did an intro that I've had, I think it was on Spaghetti Johnson, called Respect. And maybe one more record.
That's hard, bro.
It was cool. So I did the rugby game, and I didn't know what to expect. It was dope. It's my first time ever being at a rugby game.
Different audience.
Different audience.
Right.
Yeah.
People was like, they had a really good time. They had such a good time that they hit us back and was like, yo, can you come back again next week and perform at halftime? I swear on my mama.
Oh, for sure.
Run it back.
So we did it again.
Yeah.
And so this time I ran into some people and they was like, yo, man, we should introduce you to the host. I was like, yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
let's
know you
do it.
was.
Yeah, you know. But it didn't have nothing to do with like grills at that time. You know, it was just like we should just introduce you. Like we rocking with what you doing. I went out, you know, interact with the fans. You know, like I had a good time for real. I brought my son to the game. It was dope.
Nice.
And so they introduced me to the host, and it so happened to be that Melissa was one of the people that he was introducing me to.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Networking at its best.
Yeah.
So she was like, man, I know him, and vice versa. I knew her. And so we got on the phone and she was like, look, I got this idea. I think we could do grills for the opening season. And I thought it was like, again, like it's so big. I'm like, all right, cool, you know, but sometimes people might tell you things and then it might not happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Just
may
keep
not
it real,
materialize.
I
And
call
this
that
is
the
a big
industry
deal.
shuffle. That's the industry shuffle.
Nah, this Atlanta. It's Cap City now.
You know? But
Cap Atlanta.
man, it might have been a couple days. We was on the phone. We was doing. I think like in a week we was like full circle all the way in, you know. And so I had to do the grills fast. I had to do a lot of grills that I had never done before.
Wow.
I was flying, you know, back from LA to Atlanta, like, you know, bouncing between warehouses. It was crazy. But we made it happen. And I remember like the day we first I went and molded everybody up, you know, on the Hawk staff. And they had like a few other people they wanted to come in. And so we did that, and then we worked on the grills, and then we did the filming in the State Farm Arena.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's
you
a
know?
story.
Pulled up with all the grills and had to like fix stuff on the spot. I was so nervous, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it came out dope, man, and they put a lot of time, a lot of money into it. It ended up being number 2 out of the whole NBA, you know, for the season in terms of like the ranking. I think it was like some big newspaper or something. But it's a dope opportunity, and then now we doing the merchandise collab with them now.
Dope.
That's dope.
Dope.
Yeah.
But they this year too. Also, I came to a party you did earlier this year at a hotel with Crown Royal.
Yeah.
You forgot all about that, huh? That like I
Yeah.
think a lot of people missed that party. I think it was like an invite only party.
Yeah.
But like that had to be like one of the dopest parties I've been to like this year. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people a little bit about that party.
So we did a party with Crown Royal. I did a grill with Crown Royal.
Mm-hmm.
I did a liquor with Crown Royal called Crown Royal Age 18. And so the grill was 18 karat gold. It's a rare liquor, so we did like rare diamonds in the grill.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a commercial for it at the Grills by Scotty location in Decatur, which was big for me, you know what I'm saying, to be able to bring Crown Royal to like County Road, you
Right.
know what I'm saying, with the big cameras and all that. It was dope. And then we did the big party at the Garden Room.
Yeah, it was I can't remember the hotel
Garden
though.
Room. I can't remember the name of the hotel either,
But it was like
man,
it was
so dope.
It was dope though.
Yeah. It was like a dream almost like. And then Eddie was there.
Eddie
You know what I'm
Gold
saying?
Teeth, yeah.
Eddie
From
Gold Teeth was there.
if you don't know the history of Atlanta, Eddie go back with the whole Gold Teeth movement,
Mm-hmm.
like when everybody was getting their grills done back in the day, from like Goody Mob to everybody that pretty much had grills in Atlanta back then was going to Eddie to get their grill done. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think back then, Eddie might have been in like Little 5 Points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he had like locations in like
They one by the underground too, I think, right?
yeah, but he had like different locations in like flea markets and shit like that.
Yep.
So. But you paid, but you actually paid tribute to him too.
Yeah.
I think that night as well, right?
Yeah, so when they hit me up again, I thought it was a joke. Hit me, might hit me on Instagram, and I'm like, man, you Crown Royal, like, come on, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? So he hit me again on the Grills by Scotty page, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, this shit might be real. Then they emailed me.
Right.
I was like, okay, for real. And so when we started talking, they were like, man, you know, who you think we can get? I was like, man, we need to get Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't know, like I just feel like you should always like give people they flower that came before you.
Right.
That's just the way it go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you don't come in the game like puffing your chest like you the first one did it, cause you ain't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's just respect, you know what I'm saying? So I know him to be like pretty much like the pioneer in the South, you know, when it comes to the gold teeth. And then, you know, you got Dr. Jeffrey, you got Johnny Dang, you know what I'm saying? So I give nigga they respect, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping.
Because Eddie had it like when that particular night, I learned a lot about Eddie because I didn't even know he came from up top. I didn't know he was lacing like when you seen Just Ice on that front of that cover. He did his grill on that. You know what I'm saying? So his history was long in hip hop way before he got to Atlanta. So Atlanta was actually getting a gym and didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Yeah.
So from that, I know you was moving around from the Crown Royal. How did it feel like actually having? Because I know you came from a grassroots. Like I think you had like at one point you had Soul or the little car you was doing when you was with Dante. Remember y'all was out. Y'all had the little Soul Kia car or something behind you.
Oh yeah,
You know what
Scion.
I'm saying? Scion. Yeah. So-
man, that's crazy.
So this is what I'm saying. Like you go back with the branding for a minute.
Yeah,
so,
people don't even know that. That's real.
Yeah, so you've been one of the fortunate rappers that's been in the game for a minute to actually do branding. How important is it for rappers to actually, even though you're an independent artist, to get that kind of branding and sponsorship behind you?
I think it's real important. I think that it's smart, you know, to people associate things with other things, right? So when you look at it's a book that I read called Contagious. I got the book I did from Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? When you think of certain words, you pair them with things. So if you could put yourself next to brands that, you know, have a certain you know, appearance or velour in the public eye, then people associate your brand like that. You know, that just made sense to me. It just even on the street level, like if you, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You want to partner with nigga that doing a certain, you know what I mean? They moving a certain way, cause that's the way you want to be perceived. You know what I mean? Whatever. So in business, you gotta do the same thing.
Cause during that time too, man, you was working with Dante.
Yeah.
And people
Dante
don't.
Ross.
Yeah, Dante Ross. He's a legendary hip hop guy. He done people like Brand Nubian. He came
Mm-hmm.
from up top. He was like part of. I want to say stimulated
Queen
Diamond.
Latifah.
Yeah, he was part of a lot of big acts out of New York during that time, during the heyday of like New York rap. What was it like working with him?
Man, that was some crazy shit.
Because I know
Man, I
Dante.
fuck with Dante,
I know
though, man.
Dante, and he's a real grassroots hip hop guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to go
He a
and,
real
and
dude.
come in to work with you, I just know that had to be an experience. And I always wanted to ask you, like, what was it like working with Dante?
Look, man, I tell you a couple little story. Like, man, me and Dante used to be on the phone sometime arguing,
Right.
screaming at the top of our lung, right? Cause he was telling me I didn't have a hit.
Right,
And I said, I did have a hit. You ain't even listening to these songs.
right,
You know, I remember being in my living room screaming at him, you know what I'm saying, about this shit. Cause I felt like he didn't get it. But the truth was, I didn't have a hit. He was right. I didn't know that till later on when I did Ratchet
right,
and the shit just took off.
right,
I said, damn, that's what he was talking about. I had some good songs.
right,
It wasn't a hit though.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I remember another time, I was about to do Sway in the Morning the next day. I was on Sway show like a couple times, but the first time I did it, he had me up to about 4 a.m. practicing, freestyling.
Because he knew Sway might
Yeah,
ask you
knew
to
it was
freestyle.
coming. He knew it was coming.
He knew it was coming. We was up till 4 a.m. practicing, freestyling, and keeping it real, practicing how to take maybe some shit you wrote and intertwine it with some shit you made up.
Right.
You know
Oh,
what
the
I'm
trick in the
saying?
book. People don't know that trick.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you got to be
and
prepared.
Yes.
he was talking to me about style,
Right.
how to dress, what to wear, what you should wear. You know, like he'll talk to me about things like you can rap good, so you don't got to be that flashy.
Right.
Just make sure you always look clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
It's
I learned a lot from
it's,
him. Though,
it's a
for real.
method to the madness. That's why I say
I learned a
like,
lot.
and I know he's a vet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's one of the guys that I respect in the game. Like when he came in the club one night with you, and I was like, "Yo, what you doing in here?" And he was like, "Yo, I'm with Scotty," and I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know him from being with like Brand Nubians, not a New York cat. So when I knew he was with you, and that's what made me bring up the Sion thing, because I was like, "Yo, Scotty got like Sion behind him. He was Dante." So at that point, I'm like, "Okay, Scotty about to go up."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So seeing that was happening, seeing that was happening during that time, then you came back and you had another wave of like you came back and I think you had another wave after that, like
Yeah.
you and him parted ways, and then you started to create. That's when I think you started to create like the Cool Club and that stuff. Like what?
I started rocking with B.O.B.
That's right. Yeah.
After that. But Dante Ross was dope because like Dante Ross was in the era that you had like, you gonna know what I'm talking about too. Two dope boys.
Yeah.
Nah, right. Complex was going crazy.
Yeah.
Fader.
Yeah.
So I was on all them sites.
Yeah.
Feel me? At that time. And I was doing a lot of touring. I went on tour with Big Crit. I went on tour with Trinidad James, Jaron Benton. I went to Nappy Roots. A lot of niggas, Starlito and Don Tripp. Yeah.
And that's why I talk about that, because I think a lot of people don't like. I know we know you,
Right.
but I don't think a lot of people know like your history, like how long you been doing it, who you associated with, and that's one of the reasons why I like bringing you on, because I know the long history. Like even when you hooked up and I think you did a mixtape with Ray, with Outkast. I think y'all did a whole Big Boy,
yeah,
the whole
we did.
thing. So how was it working with organizing the whole family, Dungeon family?
Well, we haven't dropped the album yet, but it was dope. This was before I went on tour with Big Boy and Sleepy. I went on tour with Big Boy and Sleepy before the pandemic. But I was in the studio at this time. I was working with KP, and me and Ray was in the studio a lot working Sleepy Brown. It was a dope experience, you know, just in general. Like I learned a lot from them about like when you finish the song not done, you know. I used to think when you went to the studio, soon as we finish this motherfucker, this it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we might miss it a little bit, we might not. You know what I'm saying? But working with Ray he told me that like, shit, we might work on this song for a couple months.
They real producers.
He take his time with a record.
Yeah, that song "Do Your Best for Me," that's out now. That song like was a whole different beat. It took maybe 3 months of just playing with the beat, and then he sent it to me one day. I was like, damn, because I was gonna give up on the record. And he had came back with another beat. I was like, bro, this shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we really got that song going.
So I gotta ask you this because you brought up somebody. What Dante and KP?
Right.
What was it like working with them, with KP, versus working with Dante?
Okay, so KP is like in Atlanta. I mean, of course, in the music industry in general.
Yeah, he brought us T.I., he brought us a lot of people. He was one of the head A&Rs over at LaFace.
Right. So like during the era that I worked with KP in, KP he just started DJing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So like I think I don't know KP from the era that you might know him as, but see, me knowing him as a DJ, it was more like when we went on the road, I went on the road with KP and he brought me out as his artist. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time talking to him about records, songs, sound, like what was gonna work. And to be honest, like KP would keep it real with me a lot of times and be like, I would want him to be like, cause I know he close with what my man name? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I can't think right
From
now.
Virginia. Goddamn.
For real?
For real.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, this shit popping. Send this shit to Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? Of course, but KP was like, nah, it ain't time yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause and again, you work with these people and sometimes you might not understand what they saying.
Right.
But so now I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
It's
hard for people to hear that, especially when somebody tell you like that ain't not that it's not it.
Right.
It's just not right now.
Not right
You
now.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't right now. And everything, especially when you've been doing it as long as some of us been doing it, we know that it's about timing.
Yeah.
It's not always about just because it's hot.
Right.
It's about timing.
Timing, man.
And you can't control that timing.
You know what I'm saying?
You think it'd be ready, but
Cooking in that oven.
Yeah, man.
You got to know what you're doing.
And that's why I always get this example. Even when we think about it, and we go back and we look at Money Move record. That record was 4 years in the making, but even though it was dope when it first came back then, it took 4 years for everybody to catch that wave.
I ain't even know that.
That
4
record had,
years.
that record had been out a minute before it popped.
I ain't know that.
Yeah.
He was pushing it the whole time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we never stopped playing it.
I say on and
That's
off.
dope, man.
Yeah.
On and
and
off.
out.
But the DJ stayed.
We stayed on
We
it.
stuck with it.
Yeah.
We stuck with it. Yeah.
And the streets wanted it,
Yeah.
Again, it's one of them.
Yeah.
It's a hit because not because we say so, because the people keep asking for it. That's
and it stayed in the DJ rotation. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing like I learned about Atlanta that make Atlanta unique. Like an artist can still get run as long as he stay in the DJ rotation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you moving like, I like what you're doing because it's more than the music now. Now you're really moving like an entity, right? Like all these collabs with different businesses that you're doing is heightening your brand outside of music. So now it's actually easier for you to do music when you want to because it's more eyeballs. People are taking you more serious. Not like, because it is a bubble. We talk about Atlanta being a bubble. Here's just another rapper. Like, nah, this is Scotty ATL. And like you said, you're associated with things that matter, especially for the city. Right. Like, I think it's even dope, the collaborations that you're choosing to do. You know what I mean? They all make sense. It's not like you just picking random things out the sky. You know what I mean?
I also think too that time is kind of coming around. Like we've been talking about music. It's certain things that our ears are sick of hearing, and it's some things that our ears are ready to hear. As far as when it comes down to your music and your craft, because like all of us collectively in the room, as DJs, we always like the nigga jamming, the music jamming. So for us, it's like that. Like so, even when me and him linked up, he's like, Smooth, come got doggone get on the turntables for me for some shows. I'm like, yeah, I ain't want no money. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm just coming, bro. Like, bro, jamming from the intro to the doggone Cloud9 to all that to see his show. It was refreshing to see that, and it was like real Atlanta hip hop. It took you back to that kind of feel that we got when we heard Goody or when we heard cast or whatever, the other guys too. But like I said, it was such a transition in the music and what was going on. We kind of felt away because we were like, man, they need to catch this boy. But it was just it was over their head.
Right.
It was way over their head.
Right.
They on you now though.
Oh, they gonna see you now.
It's time.
It's coming.
Look, this is how dope it is. The list of collabs is long. So there's another one, right? Puma. You did something with Puma, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Talk heavy. What,
We just talking brands right
Yeah,
now.
come
We
on.
brand heavy right now, baby.
I want all the people listening to listen to how many brands that we named too. He's not playing. So what's the Puma move?
The Puma move was dope. The Puma move was another move where somebody hit me on Instagram.
Well, y'all better step your IG game
Hey,
up. I
man,
know that.
my Instagram ain't hitting like that. I'm doing something wrong.
Me too. We shout mine out.
Somebody hit me on Instagram, man, and I'm like, I just sometimes just surprised, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we got on the email, got on the call, and so it was like, man, this was way different than anything that I had did because they were like, look, we got an idea, but we want you to put the whole thing together. I'm like, okay, what you mean? Well, you come up with the concept, you come up with the models, you come up with your creation. So, like, this took me longer. I ain't gonna lie, kind of stressed, what I'm saying, at some points because, like, I had to come up with the concept and then the concept that they like, that had to be approved by certain teams. I came up with one concept at first, to be honest, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to do, like, more things that was going to be controversial, And so they were like, nah, we need to do it like this. So then I came back and I got one was a WNBA player, Monique Billings, She's dope. She plays for the Atlanta squad, the WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. I got a fireman, which I felt like was dope because I wanted to do something different for the city that like ain't always just cat standing in front of the strip club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
we only seen one way.
Lemon pepper wings and roller
sometimes.
skates.
Yeah, just and the same thing over and over and over. So I was like, man, how can I show Atlanta in a different way that you might not know this still Atlanta too?
Right.
So she was WNBA for Atlanta. He was Atlanta, fireman. And then I had my son, that was a kid, from Atlanta. And so I made grills for them all. I put them in, their prospective environments. I hired the photographers for it. I ordered the outfits for it and then presented it all to them, through several pictures, went through it, It was dope. We presented it at a Puma event, had all the stuff on the wall, and just and had my grills on display as well. And it was dope, just to see people like, and as well, like they shot our models and then we did a shoot too. And we did our shoot with Cam Kirk. And so that was dope, to display the grills and, just show my own character and do the collab with Puma. They gave me a bunch of free Puma shoes, like.
Okay.
That's hard, man. Y'all got to collab with these brands if you have something to offer. And that's a good thing, too, because you're not coming to them. I think the whole best part of this is why I like asking these questions and how these things happen, because you're not knocking on people's doors like, yo, do something with me, link with me, bro. It's more like, no, he's dope, he's moving, we want to work with him.
Yeah.
That's the leverage, and I think that's the game that these artists need to figure out. You know what I mean? You need to build your brand up big enough to where people want to come to you. They want to collab with you because now you're valuable. You're adding value to them. It's and the bag is better that way too.
Yeah,
man.
So hold on, I'm gonna just say it too. So my question is, are you satisfied or you feel the gratification with the business? Or are you still hungry and still want that hit? I'm pretty sure you do want the hit, but I'm just saying if it doesn't turn into what you want it to turn into, are you happy with the grills, the partnerships? Are you happy with being an entrepreneur opposed to being the artist that we know you should be?
I think I am. To be honest,
man, the money. If the money good, he good, man. What are you talking about?
But I'm just saying though, there may still be that
you can have that desire, but once that bank account get right, everything else could you can
and you can fund yourself.
You can deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It take a lot of the stress off. You know
but I understand what you're saying though, and I think like I'm able to still like fulfill certain things that I haven't been able to do, like performing with Big Boy and Sleepy
Right.
on the road. You know, like I'm on the road with them every weekend. You know, performing sometimes in front of thousands. You know what I'm
Right.
It's a
saying?
bucket
it
list
like,
moment.
and you know what crazy though is my music is really performing better now than it ever has. But it's overshadowed by the grills. Streaming, all that shit. If you go and look at it, it's performing better than it ever has.
Wow.
That's a win-win, though, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
so would you say that the grills is helping the streaming,
I would
the
say
awareness?
I would say just awareness in general.
Okay.
And the music being better. I think the music is better too.
Oh yeah.
I think the music is better. I think that since Trap and Gold, which is the last project before this one, I feel like I kind of got more into like, okay, now this ain't for me to try to make a hit. I just want to make some music that I know people gonna ride to, and it got like 2-3 million streams. You know what I'm saying, on Spotify. You know what I'm saying, but like I think maybe like my last project was a Cooligan. You know what I'm saying, that maybe did like that. You know. So and the project that's out now is doing good. The song with Paul Wall and Pimp C performing better than any other record I got.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're independent, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
So how does this? This is what I like too, right? So again, you get with the label, and there's a certain level of control.
Right.
There's a certain level of them stifling your creativity and telling you need this hit or you need to do this and go here and do this. So this has got to feel good. The freedom to just create
Right.
and still be winning. To me, that's like the win. You know what I mean? Especially as being a creator, like to do it your way. I feel like you won already, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I would ask this too, though. But being that record is doing what it's doing, would you take the bag, or would you
good question.
stay where you at
Good question.
and ride it out?
I think business is business now. You know, it just
Hey,
If it makes
you know,
sense.
whatever you doing, bro, you selling bananas in the parking lot, or we talking about record deals. If it makes sense, then we could do it. If it don't really make sense, then we know that.
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
gotta play with that.
Yeah, but now nobody can sign you. They gotta
Yeah,
partner
they got to
with you.
partner with you. Yeah, so
Right,
that's
right. But I mean, sometimes, bro, and I'm gonna say that too, though, cause that's something that you could say now. But like, depending on where you at in the game,
right.
you might take a deal cause you hungry and you need that
But at
and
the
that
same
opportunity.
No, we're talking about you specifically.
Me specifically, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, wouldn't it take the pressure off of like you would have that actual marketing budget that you need, that you know you have to have
the
in place?
so-called machine.
Right, the machine.
If it makes sense, yeah. But like again, right? You could do what you think is a good gesture, right? With some people that may not have the best intention, right?
Right.
And then get stuck in the position where now you got to play chess, and we see that happen all the time too.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I asked, because I'm like, kind of would it be worth it? You know what I'm saying, to take it if they was to give you this number of zeros and you're
Right.
like, oh man, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be, even though the money is great, versus just waiting it out.
Well, I just believe, like, just me personally,
Right.
I believe in staying independent and being independent until they actually come with what I want and what I know I can get. After I done put the work in, because like I was just saying, and I say this every episode, hey man, that same money that you're trying to get from that label, you can go get in a line of credit in your own business.
That's real shit.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I say if you just gonna go get a deal for $50, $60, $100,000 and you think that's it, that's making it,
Right.
you can go get that in a credit line.
Yeah.
And
But
pay
if they
yourself
gonna
back.
but if they gonna give you that 2 or 3 mil elbow,
But you gotta, but for them, but this is what I'm saying. But for them to give you that though, you already done all the work.
That's what
I get it.
You already done all the work.
Yeah.
You already spent 100, 200. You already in the hole.
so it may be
So
a 10 M at the end of the rainbow. You just gotta wait on it, like
And
you've
you
been
gotta
hitting.
and you gotta think about the benefits of it too. Once you get to that point where you already demanding that type of audience, you self made. Like now,
Tech
you
Nine.
can look at at Spotify and go how many monthly listeners you got and start looking at your check every month. See, a lot of kids ain't looking at how many monthly listeners you have. Like when you go look at the chart makers and you trying to see where you positioning yourself at, you got to look at how many people are listening to you every month. Not how many playlists you on, how many people are listening to you.
Right. That's real.
Message.
That's that education for you.
Right.
All right, well, we getting ready to wrap it up. But Scotty, I just want to ask you. Well, Smooth usually asks this question. I'm gonna steal his question.
Go
Is there
ahead.
anything that you want to talk about before we leave? Because I know we touched on everything. Was there anything that you want to promote or talk about before you get up out of here?
Or just get off your chest, bro. You know,
Yeah.
like just it's that one thing. Like, man, somebody just need to hear this. Let me just say this. If I get a
But we didn't get a chance to talk to him about his event the other night with the Let's Talk Atlanta.
Yeah. I did an event the other night to give people in the community an opportunity to talk about the community. You know, bring artists out. Particularly, it was about mental health and about learning how to vote. You know, a few people reached out to me about voting and like trying to campaign, and so I kind of told Lala, I was like, man, I want to know like what these people are about, and I feel like it's a lot of people that feel like I feel that got influence that could really steer people to vote, you know, but we don't really know what these people about. They really not coming to where we at, or maybe we not doing the research, you know. So we put the event together, and people really did get some good information. We're gonna do it again. You know, it's solution based, so I ain't just in there just trying to talk and rant. You know, I want people to come out with some solutions and be able to have a place where they can share, you know, and build the community. Because I don't know, I feel like the Atlanta community is a strong community, and we pass each other in events sometimes and never get a chance to talk about what's really going on.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So I just wanted to touch on that because I actually missed that event, and I wanted to make sure I was there because I knew as far as the music community, we do need to start having that type of, you know, type of outing so we can start talking about some of the things that's going on inside of the community. So a lot of the things that we're hearing people gripe about and discuss about in the, you know, behind closed doors, we can kind of bring that out front and kind of get that out in the open.
Yeah.
Super dope.
damn, man, what you don't do?
A lot I don't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to do
Hey,
my
man, I got this
part,
thing
man.
that I say when I see people now. I be like, damn. So I'm like, God damn, Scotty ATL. Like, well, this nigga do everything.
You got to these days, man.
There's a lot going on, man. I'm proud of you, brother. I
Thank
say it to your face, man. Give you some flowers, man. I'm proud of you. Like, that's dope. Real dope. That's actually inspirational. Real talk. Yeah, because X is always on us too, man, about doing multiple, all this stuff. He on me like a fool. Like, man, you supposed to do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, old man. All right, I hear you.
And the clock is ticking. The clock stay ticking, man. It's not gonna stop for none of us. So we got to take advantage of every moment that we got. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
So
Yeah.
that's
You might remind me of him too, because he got about 20 businesses going on too. So
Oh yeah, don't stop,
yeah, man, all of
I'm
us.
about to have another one next
Yeah,
week.
let's get this money.
Yeah. Let's get it. All right, man. We appreciate you, Scotty, coming through. Y'all make sure y'all follow Scotty on all the socials. Make sure you support one of his many businesses. You know what I mean? And we out here, man. It's the We Outside Show. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.